Season 2, Episode 8.
7.
Today we're talking about something you guys have, and that's your body.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about how to get into your body.
Embodiment.
Yeah, dude. And today we're coming at you from unceded Gadigal land. We extend respect to all Aboriginal people who are joining us today. But before we get too into the before we get too embodied in embodiment, what was your most erotic moment of the week?
Well, it's actually a little bit to do with embodiment.
Yeah, your hair looks so good right now, by the way.
Hey, thank you. So, as our lover listeners know, I am a very avid tango dancer. So, one thing I do now and again is I have a private lesson with a visiting teacher, or if I'm interstate, I was in Melbourne on this occasion and I had a private lesson with a really top teacher there. Anyway, so I'm dancing with this guy. And he said that I have beautiful structure and I have, beautiful posture and everything's lovely, and my embrace on the whole was very beautiful. But then he said something about my embrace. Now, the thing about the tango embrace is that it is so essential to the dance and the connection. And so the embrace has to be one where you are connected, but you're not leaning on each other, right?
Yeah.
So you're holding yourself while being in embrace and connected, which I think is a lovely metaphor for relationship in general. So the standard positioning, the standard embrace is that I have my left hand around my partner's back.
Yeah.
And my right hand is up at a sort of a right angle.
Mm-hmm.
And in that you have this beautiful embrace. And, I'm pretty proud of my embrace because I'm pretty big on embodiment. I think it shows in my tango. So I was a little bit surprised when the teacher said to me that my right arm wasn't in the embrace.
Oh.
My right arm was not in the embrace.
That's the one that's holding hands.
Yeah, that's one that's holding hands. And it was really interesting. I mean, I absolutely believed him. And I was really thinking, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Like, it's quite easy to be in embrace when your chests are touching and your arms are around each other. But here, one of my arm was off to the side. And even though it was doing what it was supposed to do, it was holding the position, and you get a lot of information back and forth through the arm there. But it wasn't in embrace. And he said he didn't actually know how to explain what he meant, but that he just kind of felt that the arm wasn't in embrace. And so I was really pondering that. And I think it really comes down to what today's theme is all about. I wasn't really fully embodied in my arm. And I wasn't fully embodied in my arm in relation to his arm.
Yeah. Kind of feels sad for your little hand.
Well, yeah, it is a little bit
getting left out.
It's being left out in a way. Like it's being performative. It's doing its duty. It's doing its job.
Yeah.
But it's not feeling, and
God, give the hand a break.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So since then, that was actually a couple of weeks ago, right? So it wasn't exactly that last week, but I just thought I'd use it because it was so relevant to today's topic. And it was a really beautiful erotic moment. Oh my God, dancing with this guy is amazing. It's so beautiful.
Why is it so good?
He's just an astonishing dancer, like a really good dancer. Yeah. Oh God, like you just really met. And the move, it just flows so beautifully. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, when you ask what is my most erotic moment of the week, I mean, almost invariably I could mention a tango experience I've had in terms of just that really sublime sensual beauty.
Yeah, that reminds me that my erotic moment is kind of, I've actually got 2 erotic moments, but I thought I'd share one because it's like an erotic moment, but also feedback. So we were talking about this morning, that my partner's went on a hike with his friends who listen to the podcast. And so we have a parasocial relationship. I've never met his friends, but they already know a lot about me and our sex life.
Through him or through
the podcast? Yeah. And they were like, yeah, it's just so funny, the contrast in the erotic moments. Like Claude's just like some fun thing in nature, or like a little thing that they did with their partner. And then yours is like, I went to a tango class and I got flogged by a horsehair flogger and I was really feeling the dance, and I think that's funny. I think that's accurate.
like I've had many more years of erotic experience to.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Anyway, but I thought that was funny, and that comment led me to being more embodied because they said that, but they also said that they wish that I was more confident. Well, they didn't say it in exactly those words, but how I've interpreted it is to be more confident with my personality on the podcast. So.
Yes, I think of it's more bringing more of yourself into the podcast.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to try and do today. And if you're listening, I hope you know who you are.
Thanks for the feedback, guys.
Love you. Can't wait to meet you. So, embodiment. I'm gonna briefly intro everyone, but first I need to set the scene.
Okay.
So I'm gonna play calm meditation music. Okay. Let's just lubricate those vocal cords. So, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But everyone else, close your eyes. Take a breath in. Exhale slowly. And sink into your body. Keep breathing slowly and gently. And allow your mind to wander around the inside of your body. What do you notice? What do you feel? Is there a sense of comfort, ease, contentment? Do you feel at home in your body? We really are turtles. Carrying our home around with us. We inhabit our bodies. We travel through life in our bodies. We experience existence through our bodies. Yet, how comfortable do we feel in this home? So many people don't. They are disconnected from their body. And there are two main reasons for this. The first, being too much in our heads. And the second reason is that we have negative emotions associated with our bodies. So just reflect on this state. How do you feel? And when you're ready, open your eyes again. You did. How was it? Did I do a good meditation lead? What do you think? Yeah,
that's really good.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, like I'm in the zone. You know.
Okay, sorry, I got too energetic. Did I do a good job?
You can.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Back to normal.
I think because I'm recording, so I can hear my voice as well. It's really quite I can taste the sound, you know. So. What did we just do then? What would you describe that as?
We got embodied.
Yep.
We got embodied. We sunk into our body. We were feeling from our body. We were stilling our minds so that we could notice and experiencing our body.
Mm-hmm. And that only took like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Doesn't have to take long.
So embodiment. I was doing some research and I actually found that it's quite the hard word to define. And a lot of like a lot of dictionaries have a lot of different definitions. And I thought that was really interesting. And I think it pertains to the point which we're making here. But just so you can see what is on the internet, from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, embody, verb, transitive verb. So there are 4 definitions. The first one, to give a body to a spirit. It's not what we're talking about. The second one, to deprive of spirituality or to make concrete and perceptible. Also, not really what we're talking about, like kind of in the spirituality sense, but also not really. The third definition, to become part of a body.
Yep.
That one's a little bit. It's on the way to what we're talking about.
It is, because we're talking about getting our self, our mind, our consciousness, our awareness into our body.
And then the last definition is to represent in human or animal form. So the reason why I don't think those definitions accurately define it, but it's because it's none of those are really in action.
No.
They're very stagnant, stale, quite Like, I do think embodiment is quite a spiritual practice, but I don't think it's inherently spiritual.
No, in fact, if anything, you could consider it the opposite. Like it's about being very present now. It's not. I mean, you could argue that that's what spirituality is, and I'm very much into spirituality as a participatory experience. So for me, it is spiritual to be embodied in your body because for me, it's about being here now and fully aware and engaged in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my research, the definition that I liked the most was from Anne Safi Biazetti. Sorry, Anne, if I fucked that up. Their definition was embodiment can be simply defined as living life informed through the sense experience of the body.
Yeah.
And I liked that because that is in action. Embodiment is a state of being.
Yes.
Yes, rather than like happy or sad, you know?
Yes. Yes, it's not just a feeling. It's a living, it's a process thing. Yeah.
So how would you define it?
How would I define it? So, well, similarly to that, it is about living life from an awareness of what your body is experiencing.
Yeah.
Not just, in a way, I sort of define it by what it's not. Because as you said earlier, I think you were quoting me, weren't you? It sounded familiar. Too many modern Westerners are in their heads.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're a head walking around and there's a body down there somewhere.
Yeah.
And people aren't in touch with what's going on in their body. Or the other thing that a lot of people do is they see their bodies as just a functional thing, performative thing. So they might look after it, they might pay attention to it, but they're not necessarily fully experiencing through it. Yeah. They're not allowing the wisdom of the body to flow into awareness and into their minds.
Yeah.
So they're still using their head to do all of the planning and thinking and deciding rather than the wisdom of the body.
Yeah.
And the body's experience.
To guide them.
To guide. Yeah, to guide.
It's like intuition, but intuition from the body opposed to the intuition of the mind.
Yeah.
So why embodiment? Why do we want to be embodied?
Well, because it gives a richness to life in so many ways. Because we are experiencing more, we're feeling more.
Yeah.
It also slows time down. Like so many people these days are always talking about how fast life is and, oh my God, I can't believe it's, June or July already, or my God, it's Christmas. Where did and I'm like, that's because you're not present.
Yeah.
That's because you're not experiencing your life in the moment.
Yeah.
You're just ahead of what you're experiencing right now, which makes time go very fast, right? So when you're in your body, it slows time down. You experience more richly, and you don't need as much to experience. Like you can smell the roses.
Totally.
It ties in a bit with our last episode on porn, right? And I think the one before where we were talking about expanding your sexual play, like a lot of it is subtle stuff. But if you don't have awareness in the moment, you often need big stuff to have an effect on you. Otherwise, you don't notice it. It's oblivious. Yeah. It's like going through life with blinkers on.
Yeah.
Right? You're just not seeing stuff. You're not noticing stuff.
To use the example that I used in one episode, with my art making practice, like I've added noticing nature onto just like dog walks that I would do beforehand. So beforehand, I'll just go on a dog walk. I got a path, just do the same thing. But now that I have an art making practice that makes me more present and embodied in the moment, it's like that dog walk has now become wild. It's like, whoa, look at how that plant looks next to that plant. That is great. Wow, that shade of green, incredible. So it's like, it's the exact same thing, but the experience of it is completely different.
And I really believe this is why we've got such an issue with anxiety in our society, because people are not getting the information they need. Like so much of the information that our brain needs is bottom up. And so if you're not paying attention to that, then your brain doesn't have the information. So it's kind of, the cogs are whirling.
Totally.
It's like, what's going on? And, and the more you get that, the less you're paying attention to the little things. which makes life scarier and scarier and more worrying and Whereas when you can sink in, like it activates the neural tone, the vagal tone. So you do feel calmer and less worried. And you can smell the roses and you can notice all sorts of, like, there's so much beauty in the world in tiny little things. I was just sat down a moment ago and I was looking at this plant next to me and I was watching, and I saw how there's all these like little leaves just unfurling. And the way, I love plants. Plants are my pets. And one of the things I love about plants is how the leaves unfurl. Like, it's just this miraculous process that it's just like, and I can just kind of like lose myself in that for a moment, and it's just like brings me back. Like, this is where I am and this is what I'm experiencing.
So why embodiment feels better?
Everything feels better. And certainly sex feels a lot better.
Yeah.
Relating feels better because you're more attuned to each other. Like, you can be more expressive of self and you can pay more attention to your partner because you're feeling into it. All your senses are awake. And then, the more intimate that you're getting, you're in your body. So you're feeling from your body, right?
Yeah.
You're not, so it gets in the way, not being embodied gets in the way sexually in a couple of ways. You're in your head thinking, oh, what should I be doing? Is this okay? What's going on? Should I be doing this okay? And becoming quite performative and hoping, doing what you think you should be doing. Or you're just trying to, mind read your partner without just kind of sinking and really feeling into what they're getting. It's interesting. A lot of people keep their eyes closed when they're having sex, or they do it in the dark. And like, we get so much information through the face, right? Masses of information. In fact, there's a real problem in society at the moment with people, women in particular, getting, Botox and all this kind of stuff on their faces, which stops them communicating in all of the little micro features that we are constantly communicating through our faces. And certainly with our beloved, they're up close and personal. It's also about, appreciating your body and whatever your body is doing, like the miracle.
I just think so many people like actually don't have a relationship with their own body.
Yeah.
Like, I've had so many conversations with women about masturbating and they're like icked out by their own vaginas,
Yeah. Oh, it's such a shame.
Yeah.
And, getting all sorts of cosmetic procedures and plastic surgery
to just not
supposedly meet some ideal, which doesn't actually exist.
And it's a lot, like, I agree with the anxiety thing because a lot of the performance is to negate anxiety, those thoughts, without building an actual relationship to what is true for you.
Because it won't actually solve the problem.
No, definitely not.
If you don't have a positive relationship to your body, changing your body is not going to improve your relationship to it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, some things can, like getting fitter or something because you feel better, within yourself. And look, maybe if you've got like, an ugly wart on your face and you have that removed, then yes. That's
you had a thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a birthmark here that I had removed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't. I actually quite liked my birthmark, but everyone kept telling me I should get it removed, so I did.
I liked your birthmark too.
But like I had a client come to see me a while ago and she said she was about to get a labioplasty. This young woman, and young, of course, because it's almost inevitably young women who do this, came to me saying she was going to have this operation done, and something in her just sort of said, go and talk to someone first.
Yeah.
Because she'd been booked in with a cosmetic surgeon without any psychological assessment,
it's
like
so
nothing.
Crazy.
Just in you go, chop your flaps off, you're done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had a good chat about basically the why. What was she seeking to achieve through this? And, she decided not to go ahead with it after one session.
What was her why?
She didn't really have one. She just kind of felt dissatisfied. And this is the thing. There's often sort of this vague, I don't feel happy with myself.
Yeah.
And latching onto something, whatever the advertising is that says it's going to make you feel better. Latching onto that. So actually, I remember her saying that she was going to be spending a lot more on it than she was going to spend on one session with me. Right? And when she was going to spend, I don't know, thousands or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's fucking like 15,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah, like she was going to spend, and she didn't have that much money. She's like, okay, I'm going to actually go and talk to a professional first, thank God. And she came back and And in fact, at the end of the first session, she was like, oh, I'm still not sure, but I've got a lot to think about. And then she came back again, I think it was a week later or something. She said, no, I've cancelled it.
That's actually such a good point, that people are so willing to spend so much money. Yeah, but they're not willing to spend the money on mental health. So much money. Yeah.
And I see so many women, you know, like around my age who you can tell like they've had all this stuff done and you can tell because it looks artificial.
Yeah.
Like the skin's too smooth and shiny.
What did I hear about
and these little
surgery?
puffy bits and
it was when you really like boil down to it, like obviously it's patriarchal, blah blah blah. We could talk about that for ages, but it's just a way to showcase your wealth, really.
Well, yeah, there's better things you can spend your money on.
Exactly, but like God. Fucking so. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but you definitely do not know this. But Kris Jenner just got a facelift, and it has been all over.
Who did?
Kris Jenner, the mum of the Kardashians,
right?
And everyone is like, this is insane. Look how far we've come in medicine. This 70-year-old woman is fuckable now. And it's like, we still don't have a cure for endometriosis.
Have I shared here the cases of the cosmetic surgeon and his wife who came to see me as client? Actually, this has happened to me twice. Mm-hmm. This has happened to me twice now, where I've had a cosmetic surgeon, male, come with his partner. And I remember the first time it happened. And I was feeling weird. I couldn't figure out what it was. Why, as a therapist, I was feeling weird with these two. Like I couldn't connect with them.
Yeah.
There was just something really strange going on. And obviously their problem was they couldn't connect with each other, right? You know, not having sex. And then I realized they both were just like totally Botoxed up.
Yeah.
Right? They just had so much work done on themselves. And they were both, you know, young. And then a few years later, another couple came along, same situation. I'm like, I literally cannot read you because as a therapist in particular, I'm trained to sort of pick up on all of those micro expressions.
And do you know what's really interesting?
They're getting nothing.
Rich people are the ones who are showing all of the working class people that they need to be able to achieve this really expensive thing that removes your ability to express yourself. Like, I think a lot of stuff with the women is like, for example, like frown lines. Why women can't be angry, you know?
Oh.
Or like laugh lines, can't be happy.
No, we're not supposed to express. We're supposed to look like Barbie dolls.
It's just another way to keep mass societies in control.
Yes.
And keep you under the capitalist plug so that you have something to work towards.
Yes.
It's fucked. I don't actually remember why we started talking about plastic surgery.
Well, because we were talking about being embodied.
Yes.
And loving your body.
Oh, yes. And how people don't build a relationship with themselves. They just conform to societal pressure. Yeah, there we go.
And, you know, I really believe that when you are embodied, the more you get into your body, the more you're going to love your body, you're going to look after your body, you're going to feel good in your body. Like, I love my body.
Mm-hmm.
I so love my body. I can't believe, like, I have this incredible vehicle that carries me through life.
Produce
like for 60 years
amazing
it's been
children.
The heart's been beating, my lungs have been going in and out like non-stop. Like I have a brain that is more complex than the known universe. Seriously. It's birthed 3 incredible creatures, including this one. Like, how could I find fault with this beautiful thing? Right? Now, yes, of course it's aging.
Yeah.
Yes. If you saw me naked and you saw Claudia naked, you'd be going, oh, Claude's hot. In fact, we wander around together naked and I kind of like, oh, yeah, that's how I used to look. So, you know, things have sagged a little bit.
But that's also what makes it so special, you know?
Well, yes, my life is in my body. Like, you know, I've got all these little marks and stuff now and little saggy bits but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it. And I make sure that, you know, when I'm in the shower, when I see myself in front of the mirror, I'm kind of like, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, body. Not in the, oh God, you're so beautiful. No, just like you are beautiful for existing. You are beautiful for being me and for carrying me.
And it's so crazy. Your body just takes care of you.
Does.
And you don't even have to, you don't have to do anything. And your body's taking care of you every second of every day. It's pretty lucky that we got that.
It's a freaking miracle.
Some lizards have to lie out in the sun for hours on end just to regulate their temperatures. We just get to live, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and then on top of that, we get to have sex as well. What the fuck?
Exactly. And the more you just love your body, A, the less you care about the stuff that isn't perfect.
Yeah.
And B, you're actually less likely to have those problems because where the mind goes, energy flows. So if you're focusing on your faults and you're fixating on having to fix your faults, those faults grow.
Yeah.
Right? It's a psychological truth. Whereas if you're focusing on all the good stuff and sending positive messages to your body, then you're sending positivity.
And just to remind you all that self-love is a radical act against all of the establishments that want to control you.
Yes.
So just by loving yourself is like a huge fuck you to capitalism,
it is a huge fuck you.
Patriarchy, all of those fucking buzzwords.
All those fucking words. Yeah, and certainly clinically with so many couples that I've worked with, it's rare that I've ever had a man complain about what his wife looked like as she ate.
Yeah.
Right? There's been an odd occasion, usually if there's been a huge change, shall we say. But it's rare, very, very rare. It's always the women saying, oh, I'm not attractive, and often not allowing themselves sexual pleasure or either of them sexual pleasure because they're not feeling like their body is beautiful because they've been aging. And generally their partners are kind of like, no, I love you. I think you're gorgeous.
Yeah. And
he's aging too.
I'm so sick of this rhetoric of like, it's the men who are setting these standards.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not,
so
dude.
over
Wake the fuck up. We're in a detention economy. You need to pay attention. Like, you're the ones who are paying attention to this shit, you know?
Go, Claude.
Stop paying attention to this. Stop fucking. And everyone's talking about like trending right now is heroin chic. I'm not sure if you're aware of it.
We're back to that, are we?
We're back to it. And everyone's like,
everyone's on Ozempic.
Why is we were so body positive? What happened? I'm like, motherfucker, we were never body positive. We never liked fat people. Stop saying that. Stop pretending like we've like returned back to these awful times. It's like, no, we've all had eating disorders this whole time.
We haven't resolved anything. We didn't resolve stuff.
No. And paying attention to these things is like feeding into it further. It's an attention-based economy.
Absolutely.
Stop paying attention to this fucking shit. Love your body for what it is. Yes. Your body.
Yes.
It does like all of this shit.
Yes.
Fuck it.
Because
wake up, people.
We don't have the number one podcast in the world yet, and we probably never will because we're too radical. You know, maybe I should go and get some Botox and dye my hair, and then everyone would go, "Oh yeah, she knows what she's talking." We'll listen to her because she looks like a Barbie doll. You know, like the funniest, and I just remembered something about how women are our worst enemies. Yeah. Ever since I let my hair go natural, right? Which is how I call it. I don't say I let my hair go grey. I just say I let my hair go natural. You know, it's mostly silver.
Me too.
Yeah. No, well, you've done. That's so funny. For those that can't see, Claude's got about like 8 different colours in her hair at the moment. Anyway, so I remember one time I was getting my hair done, and my hairdresser at the time was working in out of a very kind of posh suburb of Sydney. Mm-hmm. And so I went in there to get my hair done. And of course, I mean, it looked amazing. It all been blow dried. And one of the other women there, who's obviously, a wealthy society lady, looked at my hair and went, oh my God, your hair, it looks so amazing. And said to my hairdresser, goes, oh my God, can you make my hair look like that? and I said, it's all natural.
Yeah.
And you could just see her mind do this. Oh my God, she's grey.
Yeah.
And then she sort of had this sort of bewildered look on her face and then just kind of backed off and turned away and probably looked on her phone.
Like this. That's like the norm is to feed into all this bullshit. Like it's so crazy that you being natural is like this mind-blowing thing. Like, is that how fucking removed we are from the natural world?
Oh yeah. You know, and even I talk to my friends who are my age and, you know, some of them have gone natural. And look, some of my friends had already gone natural. That gave me the strength because it wasn't an easy thing to do in this society. And a lot of them come up to me like, oh, how do you do it? Oh, but mine won't look like yours. Mine won't look good. You're just lucky. And I'm like, well, my hairdresser says every single woman who he's helped transition to natural has looked way better afterwards.
I mean, also it's like, have you ever had natural hair before? What are you pulling that off? Yeah, I guess I'm just like, I feel like I've had this conversation so many times, so often, and it's kind of got to the point now, it's like we have all this information now about how we've got here, about how beauty standards are being upheld, but people are still...
Oh, yeah, and it's not getting better.
No, it's getting fucking worse. Yeah, it's definitely getting worse.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, I'm just like, guys, wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're the ones who are doing this and everyone else is profiting off of it. And I just like, before like 10, 20 years ago, we didn't have all the information. But now we do have the information and people are, largely young women online are still feeding into these ideas.
And middle-aged women online and everyone in between.
Yeah. I've tried so many times to be gentle with people about it. Just like, no, you should love your body. Your body's amazing. But at this point, it's just like, you got to fucking wake up and choose you.
Yes. Okay. This is a manifesto for change. People.
Last episode, you were getting passionate about hating porn. This episode, I'm getting passionate about body standards. But yeah, to summarize, fuck that shit.
And I thought we were going to be doing this sort of spiritual session on embodiment and all of this sort of thing.
But you know what I think we need to do now, because we've gotten a little bit upregulated, Mum? I think we should do an embodiment practice.
Good idea. Okay.
You can lead this one.
I can lead that one. And again, a word of warning, if you are driving a car, vehicle or operating heavy machinery, do not do this with us at this moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is what's called a body scan. Right? So body scan is when we just work our way through our bodies. So let's start closing your eyes. You can do it with eyes open, but otherwise closing your eyes and bringing your awareness all the way down to your toes. Right? Almost like you're imagining that your mind, your consciousness is going all the way down through your body, right down to your toes. Right? And you can feel your big toe, your second toe, your middle toe, fourth toe, and little toe. You might want to wiggle them a little bit. Being very, very present, being aware of the flesh of the toes, the bones of the toes, the nails, the skin, really, really in your toes. And then we're going to travel up through our body. So we're going to go through our feet, being aware of the bones as they travel from your toes up to your heel and your ankles, being aware of the muscles around, the skin around, the ball of your feet, the arch of the feet, the heels, up into your ankle. Being aware of the ankle joint, incredible joint there that enables us to move. And then up through your lower legs, your shins and your calves, being aware of the bone and the muscle and the skin, up into your knees, another joint, another incredible part of the body that enables us to move. Spending a moment there. And as we're traveling through, you might also want to bring with it a sense of gratitude, especially if it resonated with you what we were saying earlier about not being grateful for your own body, not appreciating the miracle that it is. Thank you, knees. Up into the thighs, big strong bones, big muscles, skin. Thank you, thighs. And then up into the pelvis, being aware of the muscles of the buttocks, being aware of your sexual organs, the external ones and the internal, and the hip bones, and the whole of the pelvic bone structure there. Up into the belly, and the lower back, up your spine, working your way up through your belly into your diaphragm, up your spine, into the rib cage, into your lungs and your heart and all the other organs around there, being aware of your breasts if you have them, up the lower back, the shoulder blades, the shoulders, another joint here. Enables us to move and write and make and do great stuff. Down the upper arms, down into the elbows, down through the forearms, into the wrists. And your hands, incredible things, the hands, what they do all the time. Being aware of the back of your hands and the palms of your hands, your little fingers, your ring fingers, middle fingers, pointers, and your thumbs. Being aware of all of your fingers, your hands and your arms. And your awareness comes back up to the shoulders and into your neck, your throat, and then up into your head and your skull. Let's just stay with this feeling for a few more breaths. Just observing, don't start thinking or analyzing, just observing the state that you are in. Being very aware from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers and the top of your head. Very present. Very embodied. And then in your own pace, you can slowly open your eyes. Might want to wriggle your fingers and toes. And come back. How did you find that, my darling? Big stretch and yawn from Claude over there.
It's good. I could have fallen asleep.
Well, it's also just started raining outside as well, which is adding to the sleepy feeling.
And when I do body scans, I like to imagine all those little parts of my body. It's like there's little guys who are like, I'm like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, yeah, we're so good, thanks. I'm like, you're doing a great job. And they're like, yeah, thank you so much. And then I move on up to the rest of the body.
I love that. I've never heard that before.
Really?
Yeah, it's really nice. No, it's like seeing your body as like a team.
So would you call a body scan a type of somatic therapy?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Somatic therapy is anything that helps you get very present in your body and to become more aware of what your body has to say.
Yeah, it's kind of like giving your body a voice in the matter, really. Yeah, I like that. What your body has to say.
And I probably should just mention, I don't want to go on about this in today's podcast a lot, but, we do trap trauma and negative energies in our bodies. And so sometimes when you're doing this somatic work, you might release something that's been stored or trapped there. So sometimes you can have quite strong feelings or even memories can come back from doing this kind of work. So if that has happened for you, do go and see a good therapist about it.
Yeah. This is a personal share, but sometimes when I'm having a little dance party and there's like kind of a more less like high BPM song, but still like quite intense bass driven, not like fucking classical or whatever. But I will actively, because I know that AFAB people keep trauma in their hips a lot. So I'll actively think about releasing trauma from my hips. Like almost every single time I'll cry. Almost every time. And it's like, I'll just be twerking, but it's like twerking with intention. So just imagine me twerking and then crying. It's basically the picture I'm drawing. Yeah, but it's also, it's wild when you try.
And then after you've worked and cried, how do you feel afterwards?
Great. Continue dancing. It's just part of the, I try and weave it into part of the dance. Yeah.
It's a release. Totally. Yeah. You can always tell if you're releasing something positive, if you're crying and it's a positive thing because you feel better for it after.
Yeah.
Like you feel like there's a release, there's a relief.
Yeah. It's definitely like an ecstatic thing for sure.
Yeah. And can I also say that when you do this and you make love from this space, that in itself is an embodiment practice.
Definitely. Yeah. Sex is an embodiment practice.
Yeah. And I say practice as in it is a practice. Like it's not just something you're doing, but you're doing it with that intention and awareness that makes something a practice, like the art that you've been talking about, as opposed to just something that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that intentionality in that taking the time to drop into it, to really experience it. And that's where sex can be incredibly healing as well.
Definitely. Question time. Yeah, there you go. Isn't that good? One question pertinent to the subject is, why do I disassociate during sex?
Yep. Okay. So this actually ties in with the trauma thing that I was talking about, right? So there's a couple of reasons why you might be dissociating during sex. So it might be that you have had sexual trauma and the way that you have coped with it is to not be there. So it's a psychological cope measure. If we're being subjected to some kind of trauma that we can't escape from, then we will, faint or go pretend we're dead. And part of that is to go somewhere else.
Yeah, right? Brain is protecting.
It's protecting you. So if you've had that experience or you feel, or you're having that experience now as well, right? Like some people are doing it because the kind of sex they're having is not good. So it's a protective thing, right? So it may be, or you're fearful of sex, which might be because of what's happened in the past. It might be what's happening in the present, or it could be your expectations of what sex should be, which is actually not a very nice thing, right? So if you think sex is going to be, like an aggressive and intense thing that's done to you, then of course you don't want to do that. It's scary. It's a threat. So you will go into one of your threat responses. If you can't fight it off, if you can't run away, then you will freeze, or collapse, right? So have a think about which of those it might be for you, right? The first one is, what do I think about sex? Like, do I think it's a positive thing or not? How am I having sex? Am I doing it in a way that is pleasurable and connecting?
Yeah.
Right? Those ones you may well be able to change. Or if you're feeling like maybe it's something from the past that's coming up or whatever, then again, go and get some good quality psychological therapeutic help so that you can learn to do some of the embodiment stuff, right? It might also just be because maybe as a kid you're brought up in a scary household where you just had to kind of hide all the time, or in a very emotionally absent household where the focus was on your intellect and so forth. You just might not be very good at being in your body.
Yeah. So, for me, very not extreme and scary as those examples, but sometimes because I'm putting pressure on myself to have really authentic sex, then I start to disassociate because I'm thinking too much, It could just be little things like that.
Yes.
But what is helpful for all of those things is embodiment.
Embodiment, yeah. So there's lots of places where you can do breathing courses now. Most yoga studios teach breathing. Any of those really beautiful exercises like yoga or qigong, tai chi, and start focusing on the pleasure you experience with your body, whether it's food or walking in nature, like just petting your animal like I'm doing now. These are all moments where we can just stop and just kind of go, oh, yeah, I'm really feeling this.
Yeah. And when I was going to therapy, my therapist was telling me that I need to do this more. And because of the ADHD brain, no chance. Like if I'm just relying on remembering to do something, who knows if it'll happen or not. And so what I would start to do, kind of TMI, don't really care, is every time I would go pee, it would be a reminder. So I would like double up those activities so that every time I would pee, I would be like, how am I feeling? And so then I just started doing it automatically. Like I don't do it every single time, but it's like you pee, you need to take a moment anyway. So it was just a good way for me to practice that. But then also another thing that I wanted to say is that you don't have like a lot of embodiment and meditation. I'm going to kind of use it interchangeably here, but like so many things can become that. Like for me, art, that is definitely an embodiment meditation practice because I can't do standard meditations, or I struggle to. They're stressful. Going for walks, even going for runs, I find meditative, which is crazy because it's quite hectic and intense. But
anything that you can focus on with pleasure.
Yeah, or even just like I guess it doesn't even have to be pleasure sometimes though to be embodied. Yeah. Like because running doesn't feel very good when I'm doing it. Like it feels like there are points where because with running it's very like high highs and low lows and you're constantly moving through those, and so the embodiment comes from me being able to recognize where I'm at and dealing with it. True.
Good point.
Yeah, just I guess also find different ways to be embodied. You don't have to just go to a yoga class and breathe. You can but also try sex as an embodiment practice because it's really good. really awesome.
Slow it down.
There are so many benefits to having great sex, really.
Mm-hmm.
But also lots of benefits for embodiment.
Do go together. Feedback on each other. So then you start getting a life where you've got all this positive feedback going on.
Yeah.
That's what you really want to do.
Because really all of the positive thoughts hold just as much validity as all the negative thoughts. We just, for some reason, trust the negative thoughts way more.
Yeah. Well, because they're scarier. They've got a higher charge.
Yeah. But that's something that I've been doing recently. Is like just actively being like, what if I just assumed the best?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Wait, let's try that out.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah. Have fun with your embodiment practices.
Yes.
If you liked my meditation, please let me know. I guess you can do the same for Mom as well. But like, that was the first time I've done it. She's done this so many times, guys.
Absolutely. I mean, you can tell me you like it if you do like it. But I think Claude needs the kudos.
Yeah, I would love some validation. Anyway, this podcast comes out on Fridays.
It does.
Thanks for listening this week.
Yep.
Next week, we've got a great episode. So stay tuned. And if you want more of us, look at the links below.
All right. Great hanging out with you lovers.
And until next time, I hope you love your life.